With the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season, I'm reminding you of that. So how worried are you about your pick to win it all?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 10, Skip. But I've been worried since opening day. And what we've seen, Skip, I think they put on the screen last night, since 1970, they're the first team to allow at least 29 points to start the season in all 5 games. And the defense seems to be getting worse. And what's happening is that Patrick, my homeboy, needs to understand my defense is not good enough to bail me out if I turn this ball over. Now, that first turnover, Skip, there's nothing you can do about that. He hit Tyreek right in the hand. Tyreek muffed it, and the guy gets a pick six.
Agreed. I'll give you that one.
Lucas Niang, you need to understand, Skip, and this is why. And I never understood this until after I was done, is that Mike would get on us, even if we did something, if the play went good, but if we didn't do our Mike Shanahan, if we didn't do our responsibility, he'd say this will come back and bite us at some point in time when we least expect it. Okay, the ball's going to come out of Mahomes' hand quick. Niang needs to cut Russo to get his hands down, but he blocks him like a regular play. Russo gets his hands up, boom.
Russo is 6 feet 7 inches tall.
So that's what you do, Skip. You try to cut him so he can get his hands down so you can throw it quick. He sees it, gets his hands up, gets a pick, boom, basically ends the game like that. And another thing defensively, Frank Clark, what are you doing? I get that Josh Allen jumps, but you power drived him. The officials looking at the referee, that's his job, to look at the quarterback. You power drived him. I mean, I know Chief fans
drove him in the turf.
Drove him into the dirt. And I know the Chief fans are upset, like, how do you know?
It was a big play.
It was a big play because you got an interception. You had the momentum. Now they get the ball back. They methodically go down the field, get a touchdown to end it. But, Skip, the fear factor and what we're starting to see is that Tampa gave everybody the blueprint. So you play shell coverage, which means you keep your safeties deep. You don't let anything get over your head. And we drop everybody in coverage, and we try to get home with 4. Well, what they try to do is that they say, you know what? We don't believe Kansas City will stick to the game plan and run the football. They started out kind of like Wilder. We're going to talk about Wilder. He started out with that jab. And Sugar Hill say he ain't going to stay with it. He running out of gas. Look at him over there. Look at him over there. They're not going to stick with that. That's not who they are.
And by the way, Edwards-Helaire got hurt, and it did not look good.
It didn't look good, Skip, but they were not even running the ball before Edwards-Helaire. If you look at what they do, Philly, they ran the ball, light box. Skip, if there's a light box, they're inviting you. You've got to be committed to running the football. Even if you only get 1 to 2 yards, you've got to stick with it. And so now you get in a situation where they know it's 3rd and long, they play coverage, and Mahomes doesn't have those lanes because everybody's deep because they're not going to let Tyreek take the top off the coverage. But I'm very concerned, Skip, because their defense is bad. They got, I don't know who has the worst defense, but they're fighting Kansas City for the worst defense, whomever that may be it Jacksonville, be it Seattle, but all of those guys are right there together fighting for the worst. And now,
some moments I think it's the Buccaneers. But go ahead, because they're so decimated in the back end. But go ahead.
But Skip, look, you see Kelsey took a big shot last night. He didn't come back in the game.
He did not.
Said Tyreek is dealing with a knee issue. Edwards-Helaire got dinged up last night. They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
Are you ready to back off your Super Bowl pick? Ready to give it up?
Skip, it's not looking good. Buffalo, look, I got several teams. I got Buffalo in front of them now. I got the Chargers in front of them now. Obviously, the Ravens are in front of them now. All those teams they've lost to. There's some good teams. But Kansas City might be the fourth or fifth best team in the AFC currently.
By the way, I know you're still very down on the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to talk about them in a few minutes. What happened on opening day? The Steelers went to Buffalo.
A little glip.
And dismantled Buffalo.
If Buffalo played Pittsburgh right now, they beat them by 14.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Pittsburgh's rounding back in shape as they displayed against your Denver Broncos.
Man, stop that.
Well, you love your Broncos defense, and Ben just took it all apart yesterday.
They had more success running than I thought they would.
Okay, here we go. So what did I see last night? I'm going to start with your homeboy, my homeboy.
Yeah.
I have never wavered on this. I think he's a great kid with a great arm, all-time great arm, and the greenest light in the history of light.
Right.
From an Andy Reid who is spoiling him rotten because he is trying to get away, and often does get away, with near murder as far as what a quarterback should try or not try. But after a while, you just can't do that. So now he has 6 interceptions. He had 6 all of last year. He is devolving as a quarterback to me because there's no more discipline left in his game. He's trying to live up to the hype, which is hard not to live up to because you and everybody else says, never see anything like this. Did you see that throw? Off platform, it's like it's completely off the world. You know, like there's never been anything like some of the throws that he pulls off.
Right.
No looks. I'm waiting for behind the back, between the legs. Right.
Well, you saw the jump shot touchdown to Kelsey last night.
Okay, so he did that. And yet I want to show the one catch that Josh Gordon made in his first stint as a Kansas City Chief.
Right.
Welcome back, Josh Gordon. And this is kind of a no look. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if he knew what it was. He just says, I'm just going to throw this.
I thought he was throwing it number one, McKinnon.
I thought so, too. And I think he was throwing it to number one also because he just jumps and flings into the middle of the field. It's like everything was wrong about that play except the big guy, Josh Gordon, who goes about 6'3", 225.
Yep.
He went up and snatched it, and that was his one and only catch for the night. Well, he gets away with those sometimes, and sometimes your luck can turn against you where you keep trying and trying and trying, and nobody is like even slapping your wrist.
Right.
No, we can't do that, Pat.
Right.
You know, we can't do that. We got to let's try to clean it up a little bit.
And the thing is, Skip, sometimes you have a defense that can bail you out. When you make a mistake like that, you have a defense that can bail you out. But their defense isn't good enough. I don't know what else Sorensen has to do. Maybe he's married to Andy Reid's daughter. Maybe he knows somebody in the organization. But Skip, you cannot be that bad.
No.
He
has made plays in the past, but lately he's been.
Skip, he carries the tight end up the field. He has a man, and it just drops him.
He just gave up on
and then he looks around and like, what?
Well, it was like he thought, like in the clock in your head, 1001, 1002, but Josh Allen had gotten outside the pocket. Well, he's extending the way Patrick extends plays.
And you take, Skip, he's like Patrick Mahomes with his ability to extend plays and to make plays. Now, he got better legs than Patrick Mahomes because he can motor. Skip, you saw him. He ran that quarterback draw yesterday.
Well, speaking of motor, let's see the early fourth quarter motor. It was 3rd and 4. And this just basically sealed the deal. If we
when he hurdled?
This is pretty special for what do we call him? 6'5",
Easy.
240?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty athletic. I'm not going to say it's all-time great, but 6'5", 240, that's pretty
The only
athletic.
other guy I think in the NFL that would attempt that is Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Him and Lamar was the only one that would be able to pull that off.
He's not in Lamar's galaxy
but I'm
for
saying
athletic ability.
that would know, okay, the guy going to go low, I'm going to go over the top of him.
Okay, and he went completely over the top of him. And I was impressed, and he was fired up, and his sideline went berserk.
Yes, because that sealed it.
That sealed the deal. 3rd and 4, I got this. He impressed me even more with his legs last night than his arm because he led them in rushing with 11 carries for 59 yards.
Yeah.
That will work.
Yes.
And he obviously threw some rockets that you just...
He can throw it, Skip.
He and Justin Herbert are up there of young rocket arms where you just say, well, that's just too good.
And in Buffalo, Skip, you need that kind of arm because you know what the weather gets like in Buffalo. You know how that wind be blowing.
Okay, so what shocked me when I looked at the final stats last night was my homeboy and company had the ball for 79 plays, and Josh Allen had it for only 54 plays. So that's plus 25 plays for the home team. Well, usually that would indicate visitors are in trouble, right? Guess what? On yards per play, Buffalo last night was 8.1, and my homeboy's offense was 5.0. So every time they gained yards, they gained an average of 3 more yards per play.
Yes.
Well, that's how you did this.
Exactly.
Because in the end, it was a runaway in favor of the visiting team. And you cannot tell me they weren't ready to make a statement. I know after the game, Josh Allen saying it's only week 5, it's only 5 games, blah, blah, blah. No,
but you wanted to come in there and show, Skip, because
statement was made.
This was the AFC Championship matchup last year, and you wanted to show.
And you weren't really competitive in that game.
You came to their house and did this. This was not, well, you know what? Not only did they beat them up. Now Kansas City is questioning, man, that defense is questioning, that offense is questioning itself. I don't care. They can put on all Andy and my homeboy can put all the positive spin they want to. But you're after getting beat like this, you quit. Skip. And the last, what was it? I think after Mahomes turned the ball, fumbled that ball. They had 10 men in the box.
Yep.
You know Buffalo is not going to throw a pass. All they're going to do is run, and you can't get the ball back with 10 in the box.
Maybe you're just not good at. They did lose Chris Jones in the second half, so I think
I don't think he played the whole game.
Was it the whole?
Yeah, he didn't start. He didn't play at all because they got Frank Clark back.
Yeah. Well, they missed Chris Jones last night. They were not getting any heat on.
No, but they get nothing.
Okay, so in the end, if your team is going to rally and be even respectable and be a playoff team, because they're going to have a hard time coming back in that division.
Oh yeah, I don't believe they can catch the Chargers. The Chargers are really good. That quarterback.
Okay, your quarterback, Mahomes, is going to have to clean up his act. He's going to have to grow up some more. He's going to have to live down to the hype, and he's going to have to start making throws that are makeable because you need to up your percentage and complete the easy ones instead of the impossible ones.
He had an easy throw to Kelce for about 30 yards, and he overshot him by 10 feet. And I was like, oh, I sure hope this is not a sign of things to come. And it was. Ooh. Buffalo beat him up, Skip. There's no way around it. Buffalo, I can just imagine you get up there in January and all you hear is, let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. They're going to be tough.
They brought me around last night because that's the best overall game I've seen Josh Allen play in the bright lights. That was big time.
Yeah, he elevated it for sure.
Okay, that's going to be a big-time game. They play Tampa, Skip, in Tampa.
Yes.
It's later. It's
I think it's in December. That's going to be a game.
Really good one.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.